Okay, I hope the sound comes out okay on this, because I don't want to talk real loud or anything, but I certainly want it to go through. All right, this is a story about a family. Of Patricia and Edward. They're the parents. They had 4 boys: Edward, Wayne, Guy, and Vincent. I am Wayne. I am the middle child, born in 1959. This is where we used to live, right on this intersection. At the time, it was dirt going off to the left. And the Northway Road, that was always the skinny 2-lane paved road. That's where the school buses used to stop, right there on that intersection. And so the field there in this area right there, that's where there used to be a little house that sat there. You would come down this new road, and this was like the driveway right there. There's a little creek that runs down in there somewhere. You can't really see it. I think it's right here, actually. This is the little creek, I think. So really the house would have been right in here somewhere, because here's the little creek we used to play in. Yes. And there used to be a well right there. And there was no running water. There was no sewage. We had a wooden outhouse that you would have to go out in any weather. And yeah, good life, bad life, I don't know. It was my life. So, one day, I couldn't have been much more, because I don't even think I was in school yet. But one summer day, the field above the house caught on fire. And the house didn't burn or nothing. But I'm assuming, because I was 5 years old maybe, my mother, called the fire department. There wasn't 911 back then. In fact, when we were living out here, we had a public phone line. You listened to the rings. Like your neighbor's ring might have been a long and a short. Yours might have been 2 longs. And your other neighbor's might have been 2 shorts. Rings. And so you knew if somebody was calling you by the rings. And so I'm assuming, because the fire department came, put out the brush fire above the house, and I have no idea why I was singled out to being the instigator of setting this fire. It was a hot day from what I remember. It was a sunny summer day, and after all the excitement, even at 5 years old, I can recall being smart enough to know that maybe, because there was old cars, there was a couple old cars up in that dry brush. So when I was confronted innocently, I just said, well, maybe the glass from those cars set that fire. Well, I'm not sure exactly how severe the punishment was, but I know I caught it. And then I want to skip forwards about 30 years, because that would have been around, oh, I don't know, 1962, 65, something like that. Okay? Because I was born in 59, so, 65. Been 6 years old, maybe it was 64, whatever. So skip ahead about 30 years to early 1980. My mother, my younger brother, Guy, and myself was in Guy's mother-in-law's kitchen, and we were just talking. I'm not sure how the brush fire came into the conversation, but my brother Guy steps up with the canary cat eat the canary grin and says, well, I set that fire. Really? 30 years later, you have the nerve now to confess to a brush fire that you set and you watched me take all this discipline, all this hatred that was cast upon me because I was supposedly this horrible kid setting fires. And here, it was my younger brother the whole time that set the fire. Yeah. You know what? I cannot stop at this fire. I need to go on here with this because it's kind of important to bring this part up. This is how it goes in life. I didn't set the fire. I never set fires in my entire life. However, my younger brother, Guy, it was, the 1970s, maybe 71, 72 maybe. There was this railroad head It was pretty much abandoned, but there was a couple old wooden boxcars that used to always sit there. I remember seeing them when I was a kid. This is after we moved back. This is after we moved in town. So my younger brother Guy was caught setting these railroad cars on fire. Now this is now from when he was like 4 years old, setting a brush fire, to now. I'm going to estimate what 61, about 10 or 11 years old. About 10 or 11 years old now. He sets a fire underneath these wooden box cars. Yeah. I wasn't around, so I didn't get no discipline for that. And it seems to me, neither did he. Yeah. So now, let's move on a little bit further. Around 1975, I was at a girlfriend's house where she was babysitting. I start to walk home, and there's a kid laying in the grocery store parking lot. And there's people there with fire extinguishers and all that nonsense. Here, my younger brother, Guy, was playing on a patio that had a outdoor fireplace. And he was throwing cups of gasoline on the fire, and it dripped up and ran up his leg and caught his leg on fire, and he had third-degree burns all over him, and he had to have skin grafts taken off of his ass. Yeah. There's another fire. Okay. Then things went on, and I believe in around early 80s, around the same time, maybe that's even why it was discussed at my brother's in-laws' kitchen, because my brother's firstborn set his bedroom on fire. Yeah, you see the whole circle there? Pyromaniac is in my brother's blood, and it went on to his firstborn. Yeah. So that's the fire story. So getting back to the property here that you see, and where I was raised, and used to run around. I do remember playing in the creek a lot. I used to love to play in the creek and to climb trees around there. I just enjoyed walking around in the woods that was around us there. It was to me, that was good times for me. But there was I don't know how long I want to make this video, actually. I'm gonna tell one more story. I'm gonna end it with this story. I call it the bicycle story. I was in first grade. I used to pick the bus up right there at that intersection, and we'd be bused to the school. And I was not doing well in school, apparently. I mean, let's face it, I don't even remember, first grade. Okay, I paused it, so I'm just going to kind of, I'm not sure where I was, but, so I was in first grade, and then my older brother, not sure, I think he was in second. And my younger brother, not sure if he was in first grade or not. I don't know what happened here, but my dad says to us three, whoever graduates gets a new bike. Well, that's just great, seeing as that I knew even then that things weren't looking too well. There was a lot of F's in my report card, so to say. And I don't know why. It's first grade. What do you do in first grade to get an F? Not sure. But I was getting them. And so my alcoholic, drunkard dad says, anybody that graduates gets a brand new bike, knowing full well that I had a whole report card full of F's. Doesn't look good for Wayne. And yet he makes that statement. And yet, see, here's the kicker, and it took me a long time to understand what exactly transpired there. Because he is my father, and he's making these horrible things about how your brothers are going to get new bikes, and if you don't straighten up, you're not. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I'm like 6 years old. What are you talking about? And now that I am older, I can see the absolute ignorance of a drunkard, an alcoholic father being mean to his child. Because, see, here's the thing. He knew that I had a report card full of F's. And he makes these threats with his new bike stuff, and not one time does he help me become a better student. Never sat down and just had a talk and find out just what a first grader is getting F's for. No, there was none of that. Just ridicule, 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 ridicule. You better get busy. You better get busy. Well, get busy what? What do you want me to do? I'm 6 years old. And sure enough, come the end of that school season, I failed. I did not pass. And my father, my nice drunken dad, got my brothers and made me go as well to the bike shop. All these brand new bikes right in front of me. And he's telling my brothers to pick out a bike. And he buys my older brother and my younger brother brand new bikes off the rack, already assembled. And I don't get one. I go home empty-handed, while my brothers have brand new bikes. Just what exact lesson that was supposed to teach me? To this day, I have not figured it out, except to know that my father was a drunkard from the moment I knew him till the moment he took his last breath on this earth. He was always a drunkard. Never cared about one person other than himself. My parents were the first, and here you go, millennials, listen up. My parents' generation, the 1930-something born in 1930-somethings, that generation was the first me generation. They're the ones that didn't care about anybody else but themselves. Yes, the me generation started with my parents' generation. Yeah. Because my parents did not give one crap about their own children. No, it was all about them. My mother's go-go boots and my father just being drunk. I mean, it's no wonder they got divorced, rightfully so. Neither one of them could be an adult long enough to even consider being parents. So, yeah. How'd you like that bike story? That is a family story for sure. That's something every family should pass down through the generations. How to, I don't know, to their kids. So, all right, I'm gonna stop. This is it. I'm going. Look, I don't care if anybody listens to this or not. This is basically my way of letting someone know the paths of life. So if you do listen to this, I surely hope you enjoyed it. and I'm going to have another follow-up. This is just the beginning. I mean, I'm only 6 years old at the end of this story here, so lots more to come on the journey of my world. Thank you.